Hello and welcome to this live video. So I am going to have a few live videos going on where I'm going to introduce some amazing visible CEOs in their own industry because I think it's really important to promote them because they are so special to me and I want to share so much of what they do with you. And I know that in these interviews that you're going to have so many takeaways and things that are going to support you and your business. So the first interview we are doing is with a visible CEO or the visible CEO in a very specialized industry. And I know that the things that she's going to say are going to not only educate you, even if you're not in this industry. I think we all that are not in this industry are fascinated with this industry. And so I love how she talks about her industry and the things that she's going to teach you and share with you. And also, what she does for her clients, I think is very fascinating because she helps her clients get visible as well. And so, let me introduce you to Maryella Garmon, and she is the visible CEO of the Stormwater Industry. And so, if you're like, I've never heard of that, I don't even know what that is, we're about to find out. So, Maryella, welcome. And thank you so much for saying yes to letting me interview you and chat with you today.
Hey, Chrissy, thank you for having me.
So, a lot of my clients that work in marketing have a very niched specialization, we'll say, and who they serve and support. And you also help them get visible. So I'd love you to share with my audience, who do you serve and support? Like, who are the favorite clients that you work with, the industry? And then how are you helping them get visible? Like, what are the different ways? Because you have so many different ways that you support them.
Our company is Digital Stormwater. So we are very specific to the stormwater industry, as you mentioned. A little bit, my background, I am a civil engineer. I specialize in drainage and stormwater. My husband, who is my business partner and partner in all things, also has a background in stormwater where he sold stormwater compliance software for a company that is no longer doesn't exist anymore. But he sold stormwater compliance software for 13 years. So, and I'm going to have you repeat the questions to
It's
make
okay.
sure that I actually answer them. So the clients that we work with are visionaries and inventors who have come up with really, really cool, amazing products that help clean up stormwater. Um, but as small businesses, they need help being visible. You know, I forget who said this quote, but best known beats best every time. And so, and that's what we do is we try to make sure that they're known, because if nobody knows that you have this amazing product, then nobody's going to buy it and install it so that it can do what it's supposed to do. Um, so how we do that is we have a full digital marketing agency. We do social media management so that we can create that baseline of we're out there, our client is out there, they exist, so that people see them on a regular basis, so that when something comes up where there's a project where their product would be the perfect fit, then the designer or the contractor knows that they're there, so they know to put that in. We also have video editing. Video is the king or queen of content. Yes. So, whatever we can do to help them, get video of their products or of their staff, or their presentation where they teach about their product, and then put that out in multiple ways and provide it to them as well to use in conferences. YouTube Shorts, live events, and cutting it up into social media, or creating recurring webinars where people can go to their website and watch those videos and learn about the product and get some continuing education as well. Um, I'm trying to go through the services in my head.
You're good.
So we do help with webinars as well, with people who put on some webinars. We help with their email campaigns and background CRM work and drip campaigns to make sure they're getting those messages out to the people who are already part of their ecosystem. They're already in their list, and making sure they know what's coming up. So we do website work for anything from website build to continuous monitoring and upgrading, and SEO work. It once a website's created, it doesn't just live forever and never need to be touched. Things change all the time. Search engines change what they look at, what they look for. Plugins get updated, so you have to make sure you know what's going on with your website to make sure it continues to work for you. So, what else? Paid ads. We like organic traffic, we like free traffic, but sometimes you need a little bit extra. And so we also have a paid ads expert who helps create those campaigns for our clients, figure out what we need to say, how we need to say it, where we need to market it, depending on what their goals are and as their goals change.
Yeah.
So I think those are the big highlights. We do a lot more. We do a lot of small things, and as things come up, we learn, our skills change, and we add stuff constantly. So
yeah. So let's think about this for a second. So you really help your clients get more visible in many different ways, whether it's showing up on the news feed and video, searchability. So all of these different ways. And then also they're so niched, right? And so I
yes.
think there is this thing that when you're so niched that you don't need to be as visible. But I think personally, brand awareness is even more important when you're so niched. What do you tell your clients about this when you're trying to explain to them, this is why we need to create so much more brand awareness for you?
So part of what I said a minute ago is, if nobody knows that you're there, then they don't know. Then you're not making sales, which ultimately everybody wants to make sales.
Yep.
So if you compare it to, say, a realtor, you don't need a realtor every day. But when you need someone, that realtor wants their name to be the one you think of. And it's the same thing in our industry. You don't need something for trash capture inside of a manhole every day. But when you do need that, we want our client's product to be the one that the engineer thinks of, and they put in the plans and specifications, and then that gets installed. So that's sales for our client. So how our company started, like I said, my husband Ty used to sell compliance software, and he went to a lot of industry conferences, and he met a whole bunch of really, really great people who have a lot of really neat, interesting products. And he would see them at all of these conferences.
Mm-hmm.
And then, but the parent company that he worked for was an engineering firm. And the engineers were not putting these same products into the plans because they didn't know about them, because they weren't at that conference. And so you can have something that's really, really great. And I get excited when I learn about a lot of these products are really neat. And I'm a nerd, and I'm a stormwater nerd, so I do get really excited about them. But I'm also an engineer, and I know that if I don't know about it, then it's not making it into the plans. And if it doesn't make it into the plans, you can substitute things, but it's a lot harder than if you know about it up front and it just gets put in there.
Yeah.
So that's our basic message. So Ty and I wrote a book about marketing and stormwater. I thought you could see it. You can't. My plant's in front of it, but it's making a difference in stormwater one click at a time.
I have it.
Yay! Yeah, I have it. It's just right behind this plant. I couldn't quite reach it.
It's okay. I got you. Keep talking.
So, and the one click at a time part of that is being online where people find you when they're looking for you.
Mm-hmm.
When I start looking for a product to put in a set of plans, if it's something that I don't already know about and I want to, or I'm looking for something new, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go online and I'm going to search for something. And if you don't show up, then you're not getting put in these plans, which is the key,
Yeah.
So having that SEO so that your website's the one that pops up, and then having the information on the website to really, explain what you do and why you are unique and why you should be used.
Yeah. So pretend like you're talking to a fifth grader and explain to my audience, what is stormwater? What is stormwater so they know what that is?
The most simple explanation of stormwater is rain. So when it rains or when it snows and excuse me, and then the snow melts, that water has to go somewhere and it runs off over the ground, over the pavement until it makes it to a river, a lake, a stream, and eventually out into the ocean. And so that water is stormwater. It's water from a storm. The key to that is that stormwater is in general not treated water. So like if you go to the restroom and you flush the toilet and that water goes through pipes and it goes to a wastewater treatment plant and it's cleaned up before it's released. Stormwater is not cleaned up. So whatever is on the ground goes into the water. So if somebody throws trash on the ground, the water will pick that up and move it, and it'll float on top and it will go. And usually it will go into some kind of structure before it makes it to a stream. And so those are called inlets where the water goes into the system. And so you can put something in there to catch the trash or the leaves, or, if somebody's out walking their dog and they pee and they poop, that also goes in there. Or anything else, if a car's got an oil leak on the road, that gets washed in there. If somebody over fertilizes their yard, the fertilizer goes in there. Anything that we put on the ground or on the pavement is getting washed into that water. And because that water is not treated, then it goes out into our natural waterways. And so that pollution can cause algae blooms, which causes multiple problems down the road. It can kill fish. It can damage the natural wildlife. But the other really important thing about that water, once it gets into streams and rivers, is a lot of that, it's called surface water, is then used as the source water for our drinking water. So imagine everything that just washed off of the street and out of our yards is now going into our drinking water. And the drinking water it does go through treatment. It is cleaned, but the more stuff that's in it, the more it takes to clean it.
Yeah. And there's some stuff you can't get out.
There's some stuff you can't get out.
Forever chemicals and things like that, or forever plastics, I think is what they're called. Yeah. So it affects like all of us. Like you may not know what stormwater is, but you drink it. At some point, you're drinking it, it's keeping you hydrated. You may swim in it if you go to the ocean. So
You're
you,
showering in it.
yeah, exactly. Exactly. You literally have it every single day in some way, shape, or form. So it's important to know, to be educated. And Maryella has been a long-term client. And so all of the Visible Inner Circle members all now know what stormwater is. And we're very fascinated and educated by it. So Maryella is always teaching us something. And so we're always like asking questions. So when she's like, can you guys ask me questions so we can record for some video? Oh yeah, we got you, because we have so many questions and we want to know more. So we're all stormwater nerds too, because of you. Thank you.
You're welcome. And if you really want to be a stormwater nerd, my husband hosts a podcast. There's only two podcasts in the stormwater industry. So our podcast is the Stormwater World podcast, and we drop an episode every 2 weeks. And how he does this is, and how it started was, you go to these conferences, like I said, and you have experts who go up and they teach. And in between the sessions, there are these really great conversations in the hallway. Or there's a question that somebody wanted to ask, but we're also all introverts and we're not raising our hand in class, but we'll walk up and talk one-on-one. And so there's all these great conversations that happen in the hallway, but not actually during the sessions. Mm-hmm. And so the podcast was to bring those conversations out where other people can hear them, because there's so much great information that gets exchanged that way.
Yeah.
So there's the podcast plug.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. And again, it's fascinating and you can learn something. And does anybody else like watching live or on the replay, do you like hear about something and then you go down a rabbit hole? Like TikTok does this to me all the time. So I see something and I'm like, oh my gosh, when did that happen? Oh my gosh, what's that about? Oh my gosh. And so I go down this whole rabbit hole like I'm the best detective in the world. Like that's what I think when that happens. But I think it's fascinating. Maryella does a lot of content on for all my Ohio people. She did like I think it was a series, right, on the Ohio River and how basically polluted it is and has been, and what contributed to that. And it was really fascinating because it was like, this is a Ohio thing, she's like talking about the Ohio River. And so it's just fascinating to me and also scary right. of how much crap is in it.
You remember that TikTok trend a while back, I'm in whatever. So of course So Ty and I did one of those videos, and one of the things that we said is, I'm in stormwater. So of course, every presentation, I have a picture of the Cuyahoga River on fire, which is kind of the catalyst, because I think it caught on fire like 6 times that year. Mm-hmm. And that's the catalyst that kind of got the Clean Water Act to be approved, which not going into politics, but bipartisan approval of something, especially some kind of regulation, is pretty, even back in the 60s, was a big deal.
Yeah.
And so this was passed and the president vetoed it. And the nation was so passionate about this and conveyed that to their legislators that the veto was overridden on a national level, which is what, really started the ball rolling, getting a lot of this stuff cleaned up. But it was, and there were other rivers that were catching on fire as well. But that river in Ohio was a huge catalyst for this national movement.
Thanks, Ohio. Yay, Ohio. Leave it up to us to have the dirtiest river to start this.
Well, and part of that series I did also, so when I was a senior in high school, and I grew up outside of Savannah, Georgia, the Savannah River was the most polluted river in the U.S. And then I moved to Louisiana to go to college, and the Calcasieu River, which was in the city I would move to go to college, was the most polluted river that year. And I was like, great, if either it followed me or I followed it, one or the other.
Yeah. Yeah. And Mariella's background is also, she's an engineer. So when anything happens structurally, like the bridge that got ran into by the barge in, where was that? New Jersey? Is that New Jersey? Where was that?
Baltimore.
Baltimore. That is like, she's like the first person I message because I'm like, oh my gosh, what are they gonna do? Because I know she's gonna like, she has her perspective, right? Because that's her knowledge and her expertise. But I think it's so fascinating. And again, how do we educate people about these things if there's no brand awareness, there's no visibility, right? Nobody knows. Nobody knows what nobody knows. And so that's why I think it's important for even a niche industry that she works in to really be visible. So my next question is, even like no matter what industry, stormwater, any other industry, online coach, doesn't matter. What would you say is the number one thing as a business you should be doing to market and create brand awareness?
You have to, I think the number one thing is you have to buy into the fact that you need to be visible. You have to buy into the fact that this is important.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a lot of people don't have time to do it themselves. That's why we have a company, but you have to realize that it's needed and you have to truly believe that. Nobody can want it for you more than you want it for yourself. And even if you don't actually have the time to do it, find somebody who can help you do it, give them the assets they need, and you're going to have to do some work with it too, because we can't do it all by ourselves. We have
Yeah.
to have something from you, but you have to know that it's necessary to be visible and to be willing to own that and do the work, so that people, it all comes back to people being able to find you. And if they don't know that you're there, then they're not even going to look.
Yeah. Very true. Very true. And here's the thing, Maryella and I both are massive introverts. We own our introvertedness, which we're just proving to you. We're on video right now. Even as an introvert, you can get visible. Even if you have that block, well, I don't want to be seen. I don't want to be the center of attention. I'm nervous. I have all these fears. I'm worried about what people will think. What's more important, your fears or getting your message and your product and your name and the way you can serve and support your audience? Like, what's more important, your fear? You're going to like let your fear lead you, or you're going to let the impact that you can make lead you? Because without Maryella and Ty in this business and helping these companies get visible, like they're cleaning our drinking water, right? They're representing clients that help do these things. And if they weren't getting that information out there, this is a missed opportunity in the stormwater industry. So it's that important, right? I mean, not all of us deal with drinking water problems, right? But like we all have an impact that we can make. And if we don't own that and put ourselves out there, no matter what the excuses and fears are, because we all have them, then we're
We
doing a
absolutely do.
disservice to our audience. Yeah. Yeah. So it's just really important. And I get on my soapbox when it comes to this, because making an impact, like otherwise, why are you here? Why are you doing
Yes.
this? Why are you showing up online? Are you playing around, or do you really mean what you do? And the thing that I love about Maryella and Ty's company is that they mean what they do, and they're so passionate about their clients and also their industry, because when you buy their book, you get, or 100% of the proceeds go to a charity, right?
Yes, all profits from our book go to Charity Water, which is an international organization that provides clean drinking water to people who don't have it. So there are about 750 million people in the world right now who don't have access to clean drinking water, which causes all kinds of health problems, economic problems, and everything compounds with that.
Mm-hmm.
And so this charity, the way they're structured, they have private donors who cover all of their overhead, administrative operating cost. And so when you donate to them, 100% of the donations go to putting in clean drinking water projects. They do wells, they do rain capture, rain harvesting. Um, they've got a lot of different things going on in mostly rural areas in underdeveloped countries. Um, and it's just something we all need clean water. And
Mm-hmm.
so I love their mission. I love the founder has a fascinating story. I'm not going to go into all of his story, but it's definitely worth a read. So if you want to look up charitywater.org, that's where all the profit from our book goes. So
I feel like I'm Vanna White.
yeah,
You can purchase this on Amazon, by the way.
yes, purchase it on Amazon.
If you want to learn more, this is where you go. Or reach out to
Uh,
Maryella and Ty, or listen to the podcast. You have lots of
yeah.
options. So my next question is, coming up the week of the 16th of December, I am doing a free event that's eventually going to be a paid program called Become the Visible CEO, basically in your industry. Be seen, be heard, like stand out. Like, this is really what I want to help people to do. Why do you feel like this is such an important step for people in business to take?
I think most people undervalue the power of their network. Um, so being visible and making those connections gives you influence, gives you reach, and it helps whatever it is that you're trying to promote, whatever your cause is, whether it's your business or a charity or your clients. Um, the more people you know and the more people that you are able to touch and connect with, the wider you build your network and deeper, the more impact you have. Um, so I'm an introvert. My husband is an introvert. He plays an extrovert very well.
He does.
So one of the things that's been fascinating to me going to conferences with him, he knows everyone or everyone knows him. And that's been such an asset to our business. And I'm becoming better known. People are actually recognizing me and coming up and talking to me now. But he's been at these shows, like I said, for 13 years. And everyone knows who he is. And so because of that, we have been invited to come to events. We have been invited to set up a stage and have live podcasts at events. And it's through that network of people knowing who he is, finding out about our business and what we do now, and wanting to be part of what's going on. And so the more visible you can become as the CEO of your business, as the business that is known in your industry, the more opportunities and doors open for you, the more impact you make helping change people's lives. And when I say opportunities and doors opening, I'm not just talking about for clients and for business, because what we do, obviously we like to be able to eat, we want to have nice things, but we do what we do. There's the passion behind it of wanting to make a difference in our world. One of my favorite quotes from one of the podcasts is I'm going to mess up his name, but it what he said was, I like dirt and I like water and I like to keep them separate.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just such a perfect, that in a nutshell explains why what we do is so important.
Yeah, absolutely. And, just like talking about Maryella, and I've known her since 2020.
Yes.
Yeah, we met in 2020, and just watching her trajectory and going from having a full-time role as an engineer and selling products on the side to a year, almost 2 years ago.
A year and a half ago.
a year and a half ago, going into this business full time, like blossoming as like, this is what she was meant to do. Like, I hope she believes that, because I see it. I see her face light up every time she talks about this. And so seeing her step into who she was really meant to be and what she was meant to do and who she was meant to serve has been beautiful. And honestly, without visibility, like without her willing to get visible and without her willing to show up, we wouldn't know that about her. And we wouldn't know all the things that we know about stormwater and clean water and the industry. And so whether it serves, like, it's not my industry, right? I don't have people in that industry, but it serves me, right? That industry serves me. It serves and supports you, because we all drink water. We all are affected by it in some way, shape, or form. And so it's just been a beautiful trajectory and journey to watch her blossom and show up and love it, love being visible and love showing up. And the thing is that the other thing I'll say about Maryella and Ty is that I love to talk about diversifying your visibility. And I will say this, they have diversified their visibility. They have the book. They show up online. They have a podcast. They go in person to trade shows. They go to network. They have a booth. They network with other people. Like, there are so many ways that they are truly maximizing their visibility potential that it makes perfect sense of why they've been so successful to both leave their full-time jobs and do this full-time. And if they would have decided, oh, we're going to try to do this full time, but we're just going to be invisible and we're going to be behind the scenes people and we're not going to show up, it would have never worked. And I think she agrees. Like, it would have never
Oh,
worked.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's so important to show up and get uncomfortable and put yourself out there, because at the end of the day, like I said, what's more important? Your little comfort zone over here, or the impact that you can make? That is, like, there's no ceiling to the impact that you can make. There's no ceiling the impact they can make, the donations that are going to this organization, the people that they're going to help, the companies that they're going to help, the small businesses that they're going to help be seen and heard and help clean our water even better, because they're getting their information out there. So am I allowed to pump you up that much? Because it felt really good.
It did feel good. Yeah.
It felt really good on my end. All right. Before we go, is there anything else that you would like to say, Maryella?
Well, I want to flip it a little bit. I want to ask you
Okay.
a couple of things.
Yeah,
So
go ahead.
I'm going to pump up Chrissy a little bit. So, like you said, we've known each other since 2020. I've seen you do a lot of growth and a lot of transformation. So earlier this year, you rebranded from the Visibility Queen to the Visible CEO, which has it's so watching the transformation of your business and how you feel and how you project that has been so cool to do. And you launch constantly, and you've got some amazing signature programs. We had Iconic last month, and we're just finishing up Raving Fans, and we're rolling into this Visible CEO free masterclass, which I'm super excited about. So you want to talk about that some?
Yeah. So Become the Visible
Become.
CEO is a program that has been on my heart for a couple months. It just wasn't fleshed out the way that I wanted it to be. And so I didn't know exactly what it was going to look like. And so what I decided was, I really want to do this program live. I knew I want to do it live. It's going to be over several days. And I literally just want to give you everything for free to grow your business. Like, that's really what I want to do. I was going to do a 12 days of Christmas. I was going to do all these things. I was like, no, I'm just giving. I want to give. I want this to be a brand builder for my business. And I want you to show up, because I'm going to pour into you so hard that eventually this is going to be a paid program. But everything I'm doing in this week together is going to be for free, because I really want to pour into you. Now, obviously there are upgrade opportunities. If you want more close proximity, you can be a VIP, and there's things like that. But really, in this program, It is going to help you step into your role as the visible CEO of your industry, just like Maryella and Ty have done, just like all of my clients, they are the visible CEO of their industry. And I want to see you step into that role as well, no matter what industry you are. Because at the end of the day, you go first. Maryella and Ty are able to help their clients become more visible because they said yes to it first. They are helping their clients be seen and heard because they decided we're going to be seen and heard. Right. And so they're helping make massive impact and ripple effects because of that. And so that's what I want to help every business owner do. It is that vital that you build an audience. It is that vital that you show people who you are and how you can serve and support them. It is that vital that you know what to do every single day. You got to know what to do every single day, right? It's not like we're not just waiting around like somebody's got to tell me what to do. No, there are steps that we're going to take. We're going to own our self-leadership. We're going to step into our confidence. We're going to own our conviction. We're going to share our conviction, and we're going to put it out into the world because it is that important that everyone knows. Whoever's watching this live, watching this on the replay, whatever you're doing, like you need to be seen and heard. You need to step onto your stage, and maybe that's just social media, but that is your stage to be seen and heard and to create impact. And I believe personally that we all have a gift and we all have something to share. And if you're hiding it, you are doing your audience a disservice, yourself a disservice, your family a disservice, because there is so much more that you're capable of if you stop letting fear lead the way.
I love it. I love the passion. Just absorb all of that. So
thank you for asking.
You're welcome.
I hope I answered your question.
And since you had a copy of mine, I have a copy of Chrissy's book right here beside me, one of her books. So this is a quarterly planner to do all the things, put all this stuff, all your daily stuff, all your weekly stuff, everything you need to make sure you do. And so I'm sure this will probably come up in the program as well.
It will. It will 100%, because we are going to talk about the daily steps of what you do in this program. This is not a gatekeeping program. This is not a program where I'm just going to tell you why you should do all this stuff. I'm actually going to also tell you how, which is not normal for a free program. So I'm super excited to pour it into everyone because this is my gift to you to start 2025, like at the level that you were meant to play, to start 2025 uncomfortable, to start 2025, regardless of what your fears are about getting visible and showing up. And the other thing I'll say is that visibility is not just me and Maryella on video. Visibility is your message. Visibility is your offers. Like, are your offers put out on the spotlight? Products, services, programs, whatever you sell. Like, if nobody knows the whole part of your business, you are not the visible CEO. You showing up on video is one part of it. It is not even close to being all of it. And so we are going to cover all of that inside of Become the Visible CEO. And listen, even if you're an introvert, this program is for you. Even if you're already visible in some way, shape, or form, this program is for you, because we're going to go through all the parts of you getting visible and what it means and what it looks like and how it's really going to serve and support you in the long run. So I'm super excited. It's going to be one for the books. I promise you that. And this will be a paid program. So I'm not just going to throw some stuff out there and like hope it sticks. Like, the curriculum is almost done. And I know exactly what we're going to work on and what we're going to talk about. And you're all going to be mind blown that I gave this away for free. I'm not holding anything back. So I'm super excited about this program. And Maryella, thank you so much for saying yes to this interview. And I can't wait to see you inside of the Visible CEO, because I know it's going to be a game changer for so many businesses. And the thing is that my clients will watch this, even though it's free and they pay me, because I'm probably going to say something in a different way that's going to be like, activate them, because that's what happens. Maryella, I'm going to tell this story really quick. Maryella, when I had a launch for the Visible Inner Circle, there was a program. I did the same exact masterclass, but I kept changing the name, and she kept showing up. And I sent her a message like, hey, the masterclass is actually the same as the other ones. I just changed the name. She goes, I know, but you say something different every single time, so I'm coming. And I'm like, okay, You're right. I will say something different because it's never like I'm reading a script. I just say what comes to my mind and what I feel. So you never know what you're going to get in this program. So I encourage you to come and join for free. There will be a limited time replay. So if you can't attend live, there will be a limited time replay. But I put the link in the chat or in the comments. So if you don't see it, just message me and I'll make sure to get you that link because I would love to see you there.
Thank
Yay.
you. Thank you for having me.
Thank you. Thank you so much. And I cannot wait to, again, if you are interested in learning more about stormwater, what Maryella does, follow her. I'll make sure that I tag her on this video when we're done with this live. Follow her, connect with her, listen to their podcast. Like, really, if you're a nerd and you like to nerd out on things like we do, make sure you check it out because it's absolutely fascinating. It's absolutely fascinating what they do and all of the cool gadgets and things that they know and they teach us about. She did a series on rivers. I think you also did this at least a post, maybe a video on New Orleans and all the beads. Like, you've got to ask her these questions because you're going to be blown away. You're going to be blown away. All right. Anything else you want to say before we go, Maryella?
I think I'm good. If you are in the stormwater industry and you are looking for some help, reach out, digitalstormwater.com. If you want to find our book, it's on Amazon. I always search under Ty's name. Just, I don't know. I just always do. So Ty Garmon is listed as the first author. So yeah, I think that's all.
All right. Well, thank you all for watching. And if you want to go back and watch this as a replay, if you came in live, it will be up here soon. And yeah, make sure you check out the Becoming the Visible CEO event. It's free. Join, find out all the deets. We start on the week of the 16th. I'll see you soon. Bye.